What have you learned over the last year and a half?
Learn so much. Like I said, I think people and team is everything, and so getting great team and not just players. I'm talking about marketing directors and CEO and GM and all the right people in place is a process. And the teams. When people are working together as a team, it gives you the best chance to win, and winning is what everyone wants to see, right? They want championships, they want to, and so now you have a chance to compete at that level by getting a great team. So I've learned a lot about you can't have just the best player or the best coach or the best GM. You have to have all those things. And so getting great people around us has been important.
Matty, I know you love the game of basketball, of course. I know that you love it. Tell me why. What is it about the game that you loved as a player?
I love competition, so I'm all about competing. I love basketball that there's a competition every single time down the court. You're competing to score or to stop them, right? Every single time down. So it's a game within a game every time. There's plays, there's strategy, there's thoughts. Like every single time down, every possession is a
Do
competition.
you miss that now, the competition of that?
I get it. I get to live through our guys and and our women on the men's and the women's team, and so I don't miss it because I get to be involved. I coach my kids' sports too, so I'm a football coach, a basketball coach, baseball coach. I do all that stuff too. So I'm very competitive. And in the mortgage business, we compete every day too. So the competition is a big thing for us, and that's what I love about basketball. And basketball, you can have a bad possession, a bad competition, a couple of them in a row, but you can come on a run and change things. And so it can change, and it's fun to watch too. I mean, just seeing these athletes, especially the NBA and WNBA, these guys and gals are just at the level.
Incredible.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Matt Ishbia is joining us. Matt, one of the big changes in the offseason, obviously, is going to Mike Budenholzer as the head coach, and he's a local guy. Being from up in Holbrook, he grew up a Suns fan. All of that stuff that's out there that makes this seem like a perfect fit. But from your perspective and your basketball people's perspective, what made him the fit as far as the coach?
Well, his care factor, his work ethic, but his leadership. So we feel for our team, having a coach that's all about accountability and leading the guys is really important. And Bud is that and then some. And he fits in well. The guys respect him. They know what to expect from him. He knows what to expect from, like vice versa. It's been great. And so to get a coach like that, obviously I really liked Frank. Frank was a great basketball coach. For our team, Bud is the right coach. And you know what? By the way, we asked what I learned. Like, I'm learning too, right?
Yeah.
Not all my decisions are right. But you know what? You're never going to question our care factor that we're trying to do it right. And hey, Frank, it wasn't the right fit for our organization, not because he's a bad coach, just it wasn't a great fit for us. And now we got Bud. And hopefully it'll be a much better fit, and I'm really, really confident it will be.
Matt, what's so interesting about it is you played this game at a high level. You played basketball at a high level, and you're an owner of an NBA team right now. Can that ever be a detriment?
I don't think so. I think, knowledge of something creates confidence and also makes it so I can ask questions and be involved. But like I said up there, like, I'm not, people get confused. Like, don't get confused and think that I'm sitting there evaluating the difference between Ryan Dunn and other players. Like James Jones and the scouts do that, and then they're like, we really want Ryan Dunn. I'm like, okay, let's figure out how we get him. And like,
right.
Oh, at 22, who else? Like, we can trade back and we still can get him. Like that. Like, I'm not that in depth.
Right.
But I can, when Bud's telling me how we're covering pick and roll and talking about this, I can understand what they're talking about. So I think it's only value add, and I also understand my place. Like I said, my job is to be the best owner, not the best coach or the GM. I'm supposed to give them all the resources, which sometimes a call, sometimes giving them my thoughts on something can help.
But I would imagine that's got to be easier said than done, right? I mean, because you do know a lot about the game.
I appreciate that, and I do, but it's a whole nother level. These guys,
yeah,
Bud,
yeah,
and these
right.
guys, like just like I'm a college basketball player. I played at Michigan State. I'm really good at basketball. Okay, let's say that I'm 44, really good, but like I can't even hold a candle to the worst player on the NBA team, worst player in the worst player in the college. Like these guys are really good. Same thing with the coaches. They're excellent. They know things to a detail. They watch film to a level that's just beyond me, beyond any novice, beyond anybody, and beyond people don't realize that. So it's hard, but it's not that hard to stay out of it.
Yeah.
We're talking to Matt Ishbia. Matt, there were some changes with this team, not just the coach. I mean, you drafted a few guys that may have significant roles. You made some moves in the offseason. But something that you and James Jones and a lot of guys talked about at the end of last season was the continuity for the guys that are still here. And Katie's back, and Book's back, and Bradley Beal. And all, like the core of this team is going to get some continuity. And you didn't really get that during the season much last year. How big do you think that is now?
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. Remember, if people don't realize, we also traded for Nurkic and Grayson Allen right before training camp. So they had no summer work with our guys. Our team had our 6 guys came back: Beal, Booker, Durant, obviously Nurkic, than Grayson and Royce, right? And so those 6 guys are a huge part. Then we got Bull and Okogie, right? And then Damian Lee was out all last year. But then we have other guys that are coming in that are going to be good pieces to it. So I think continuity really matters. I think the work we've already put in this summer really matters. And I think having a full training camp together and hopefully, got to stay out of the injury bug, right? Yeah, that's we got to stay out of that. But if we do that, I love our team. I love our chances.
I was going to say that. What are your expectations right now for this team going forward, right? I would imagine championship.
Yeah, we want to, first off, every single day we have to get better. I think we have a great team, great coach. We got to get better every day, and then we have to compete for a championship. Like listen, there's not all 30 teams aren't sitting here saying that at media day. They're not saying we're going to compete for a championship. They're saying, hey, we're going to get better. We're going to develop our players. We're going to compete at the highest level here in Phoenix, and yeah, we have really high expectations. And guess what? When we don't hit them, just like at last year, we'll get hit on them. People will talk about it, But I think it's a much better way to play where there's other 20, 25 teams out there that are talking mediocre. We're going to do good things. We're going to try to get better. We're building. Like we're competing. We're going to compete for the championship, compete at the highest level every single day, and improve our team. And I think if we do that, we have a really good chance.
Talking to Matt Ishbia. Matt, while we have you here, I just wanted to ask you about Al McCoy and what he meant to this, not even just the basketball community, just Phoenix for the better part of a half century. Just your experience there with him.
Yeah, he's such a great guy. I got a chance to spend a little bit of time with him. He just really embodies a lot of the Phoenix Suns culture and who we are and what we're about. And him being there for 51 years, he's obviously already in the Ring of Honor, and they'll be able to put a little patch on it so that everyone can think about him. I've even talked to some of the players, Book specifically. Obviously, he knew him the best, and like everyone cared about him because Al cared about everybody. Al had just this sweetness and way about him that everyone loved being around Al. And even when I came in, he made me feel welcome. So he'll be missed and always remembered, though.
Matty, do you think you got that leadership inside the locker room? Do you feel good about the leaders inside that locker room?
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, the leaders can come from players, can come from coaches, come from assistant coaches, but it's got to be in that locker room, right? And I believe our players, we have some players that are stepping up vocally. We also have our coach that has different expectations of how things are being done. I think you're going to see it. And I think you'll hopefully see it on the court with the joy and the energy and the positivity and the passion that we're going to play with that I think some people didn't feel was being played with last year. And there's some things we can do better, but all of us can do better from the ownership all the way down. And you're going to see that this year. I'm really confident in that.
The culture that you talked about when you first sat down, and it's been very obvious since you took over the team, that it's not just, hey, let's get the best players on the floor. Let's get the best people around this entire organization that care. So it's you're not leaving anything to chance. Where did you develop that? Is that just over the course of your career? Was that instilled in you at a young age?
Yeah, well, first back to my parents about care and about family and about team and being part of something special, but then also at Michigan State with Tom Izzo. Michigan State, the things I learned from Izzo have really translated to my mortgage business, and obviously they translate over to the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury. But I really think, being great every day, getting better every day, competing at the highest level every day. These are things that are instilled in me, and families instilled in me, and team. These are the words that I know. And people get sick of it. In 30 years, you're gonna hear me saying the same stuff over and over. I still say the same things because that's all I know. And I think it's worked in almost all business that I've been involved with, and I think it's going to work here in the Suns and the Mercury and in the G League too. I mean, we're going to kind of compete at every level.
So Devin Booker, tell me about Devin Booker and the person that he is now that you got to know him a little bit.
He's the best. He's if you could pick anybody to be your franchise player for the next 10 years, he's the one. He's the one.
Why do you
pick.
say that, Matty? I mean,
every aspect. So from the mentality he has, the work ethic he has, the care he has, the way he treats people, kids, families, people, or assistant coaches, the listening. He's got a heart of gold. Devin is everything you want and then some. And I couldn't be any luckier. I bought a team that Devin Booker's going to, and Devin Booker's 27, nice 28.
Smart.
Almost I got lucky. I don't know if it's
cool.
smart. It's pretty cool. And he's one of my favorite players in the league before I bought a team. And now, I get to watch him every day, and I just respect his work ethic, his attitude, his mentality. He's a winner. He's a killer, and hopefully he's going to bring a championship here to Phoenix.
Matt, we appreciate this. We're looking forward to the season starting.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, that's Matt Ishbia joining us right there. Devin Booker joining us out here at Footprint Center. Book, what's going on, man?
What's
Thanks.
happening?
What's up,
Yeah.
Book?
How y'all doing?
Doing good.
Good, man.
Yeah.
Look,
Another year.
Yeah.
Let's
Beautiful year.
Let's start with the Olympics, man. This is pretty cool off season for you and KD and the rest of that team, huh?
Yeah. I think it was an unbelievable experience, probably the best of my life. I think the close calls in the semifinal game and final game made it that much better. But yeah, 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Never would have thought, but I was glad to be out there and be a big part of it.
Book, you get ready to start another season, and every year is different. At least it seemed that way when I was playing, getting ready to start another season. Where are your thoughts right now?
I'm ready. The good thing about the Olympic summer is, your body's already prepared. I'm mentally already there. You don't go 3-4 months without a competitive game. So, I think the juices are flowing already. Obviously, the motivation from how we went out and being swept, that sits with me, that stings. So just bottling all that up and using it as motivation, to get back at it.
I wanted to ask you about the offseason. You didn't have much of one with the Olympics, but it seemed like you were up in Flagstaff a lot. How do you get away with the limited time you have to do that?
I mean, take a 2-hour drive. Yeah. A beautiful drive at that.
Yeah.
Add 30 minutes if you want to go through Sedona. But yeah, I think it's all about balance. Living the fast-paced lifestyle that we do, having time to sit back and get away and reflect, and that's a perfect place for me. That I shouldn't keep talking about it. It won't be a hidden gem anymore, but it's definitely one of my hideouts where I can hop in a car and put on a good playlist, and I'm 30 degrees cooler and with some peace.
Yeah, good call.
Book, the way you go about your business and how you play and the intensity in which you play. You know that I love it. I'm a big fan of that right there.
Appreciate that.
I think that is something, though, that you can grow in regard to your leadership on the team. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do.
Do you feel a sense of urgency to grow as a leader?
Yeah, I do, and understanding that there's different types of leadership, and understanding that some leadership skills work differently with some people. So that's half of the job too that I've realized. I've always been a lead by example type guy, and I think that's how my father is, and but sometimes it has to be more vocal, and I understand that, and I'm up for it, and I'll do it.
Talking to Devin Booker, Coach Bud comes in here. I know you haven't got to play for him yet, but I know you've talked to him. Just what are your early impressions of what he could do for you guys?
He's a competitor, at the highest level. We got a good round of golf in, and he can swing it.
Yeah,
he can definitely swing it. I think he has some college golf pedigree in him, but he's a winner. Obviously it hurts to say, but he does have a ring versus us, and those don't come easy. So getting behind the scenes, getting time spent with him, and understanding how bad he wants this, and he just keeps preaching, compete, and I'm down with that.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Look, when you come into a season, I mean, is it too much to look at the expectation you might have and where you think the season might end? I mean, do you ever do that as opposed to just focusing on the process?
Yeah, I'm more of the day-by-day type of guy. Just take it day by day, understanding whatever our problem is that needs to be solved or whatever we need to work on. Just getting ahead of that, doing it up front, because history tells, if you let those things slide by, they'll come and bite you in the ass in the end. So, that's my job. That's all of the leaders' jobs around here to, communicate that and, understand the importance of, every little detail.
I know last season didn't end the way you wanted it to, but you have some continuity now from last season to this season with the core of this team. How much do you think that could help?
Yeah, I always say experience is the best teacher. Feeling that hurt together, getting that playoff experience together, and just building that, not letting it just pass by like it never happened, bottling up that emotion, feeling what we felt when we lost, and, take it to every single game.
Did you ever play football?
I did.
All right. I don't think I've ever asked you this. Tell me about your football career.
I was a running back. Coach's son was quarterback, but we used to run a lot of sweeps that I would end up throwing the ball. But, I was –
So, wait, it was like a halfback option or something like that?
Yeah, I was either going to throw it deep or I was going to run it in every time. But I was bigger than everybody and more physical. So, I had some success out there, but, I stopped my freshman year. About that time when everybody starts catching up to you. About that time.
I think you've made the right choice career-wise. Book,
Yeah.
thanks so much, man. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks
Pleasure.
a lot.
Appreciate
Devin
you
Booker
guys.
joining us right there. Bradley, first of all, thanks for the time, man. How did the off-season treat you?
Thanks, fellas. Thanks for having me. Off-season was awesome. My kids drove me mad in the sports world, so they kept me busy. Got to get my mind away from basketball, which is good. Body feels amazing right now, so great off-season. Great off-season.
So,
Excellent.
Brad, when you come in to start a season, what are your typical thoughts? What are you focused on when you come in?
That's a great question because in years past I would have an in-depth, probably like these notes answer for you. But it's very simple this year. Like for me, my wife asked me the other day, she said, what are your goals this year? I said, literally one thing. I said, have fun.
Have fun.
I said, I couldn't tell you the last time I've – not saying that I don't go out there and try to have fun, but so many things are going on around you, right? You're hurt. You're trying to get back into the flow. You're trying to mesh with the team. And I never really got my feet planted, correctly and, got to run with the team, right? So I always felt like I was playing catch-up, and that whole process was frustrating. I was just frustrated the entire process. And in that, I'm like, I'm kind of lost, right? I want to prove myself. I want to prove, like, there's a reason they traded for me. Like, I want to be on the floor. But, obviously, things happen. I get hurt. Flow isn't great. And granted, we did some good things after, December and leading up to the playoffs. But all in all, that joy, that energy, it just wasn't there, right? So that's been my whole primary focus. And I think, honestly, seeing my kids this summer probably helped me kind of get back to that, right? Just their joy, their energy, just always just being in the moment and, next play mentality kind of thing. That's what I'm teaching them, but they're just bounce right back up and just keep having fun. I'm like, man, that's what you miss. Like, that's what you need, bro. Like, I'm healthy now. You have a great new staff, new everything. Like, enjoy every moment. This is one of the best teams you'll ever be on. Man, take it day by day and enjoy it.
That's great answer. I don't remember what you asked, Wolf. That answer was great, though, Bradley. Now, so with that in mind, you get here this season, and you never know how the season's going to go, but do you let your mind wander to what this team is capable of? Everybody just kind of goes out there and gets to do their thing this year?
100%. 100%. We got to credit James and Josh and obviously Matt for his commitment, but, just their ideology of putting an unbelievable team together, right? Going out and get several point guards that can assist us. So now me, Kay, and Book, and we can go back to being in our natural roles and being the natural players that we were for 10-plus years in this league. So we're all excited about it, man, and it's unbelievable, like I said, it's just being on a team of this caliber. And like you said, like, the sky's the limit for us. Like, we know what kind of team we can be, but words are just lip service, and we know we got to put into action.
Do you think you have a role inside the locker room? I mean, obviously you're a leader, Brad. People look up to you. They respect you. Is that something that you take to heart, that you have to be able to be a leader inside that locker room?
1,000%. 1,000%. And that's something I noticed a lot last year, too, and I took a lot of that, on my shoulders, too. And not knowing that, the team was looking to me in that regard. And it's tough for me because I'm like, dang, I'm not even on the floor a lot of the time. And they're still looking for my vocal appearance. They're still looking for my energy, So it was very kind of like a gut check to me too, like a reality check. Like, no, B, like, you are a very important piece to this team outside of just what you can bring on the floor, So your value of being a leader, your value of teaching the young guys, your value of being encouraging, your value of energy, like that goes beyond, obviously you're not beyond your production, but it goes a long way in helping us build where we want to go.
I played 10 years in the NFL, so I know what it's like to actually walk up on a teammate and go, hey, come on, man, we need more out of you.
Right.
Are you that guy?
100%.
Do you walk up to dudes?
Yeah. For me, it's a two-way street, right? If I do it to you, I expect you to do the same thing to me.
Exactly. It's
right?
got to be.
It has to be. It's not personal, right? And I feel like if you can't approach me, then I need to check myself, right?
Amen.
Like, so it's definitely a two-way street. If I'm coming to you and encouraging you to give me more, like, man, feel free to let loose on me because I've heard it all. I can handle it all.
Is it not?
It's important, man, because that keeps, not saying we don't need coaches, but that keeps the coach from having to do it, right? If you guys are self-governed as a team, it eliminates all the extra stuff that you have to do. So the camaraderie is just that much tighter. And the coaches are the icing on the cake that can just propel you, put you in the right situations, and just their encouragement would just, man, it's amazing what it'll do. But having that team that's like has a leadership, that has that accountability, those are the teams that have the most success.
Bradley, this was great, man. I wish we had you for 2 hours, but thanks so much, man. Good luck this
One
year.
day, fellas, one day.
All right.
Thank you, Bradley.
That's Bradley Beal joining us right there.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.